Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Nerd Mode On, and today is Wednesday, so we have yet again another episode of Would You Rather. This is a video series where I'll be going over approximately 5 questions and determining which one is less likely to be invasive. So with the rules and guidelines reviewed, let's start off the episode. So coming in at our first question, I have, would you rather be addicted to meth or LSD? Now in this case, of course, I'm going to go with LSD because I did a little research on both of these to kind of get the idea of what the physical and mental stages are going to be once enveloped or addicted to this substance. Now, of course, both are very bad. I would not recommend either of these considering that they're going to mess you up hardcore. But of course, going with LSD for me, I feel like would be a better option just because if you see the pictures of people that do meth, they look horrific. You know, their teeth are pretty much always gone and, their skin really goes through some heavy times. And that's just something that I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror with. Now, of course, tripping balls on LSD would be a little different, but of course, I guess you would have some pretty vivid dreams and vivid images going on in your mind, so that might be interesting by itself. But I, of course, have no interest in getting involved in any kind of drugs by itself, and I would hope that you guys also look at it the same way. Coming in at our second question, I have, would you rather be naked all the time or never leave your house or apartment? Now, in this specific case, I'm going to go with never leave your house or apartment, considering that I normally don't leave as it is anyway. Most of the things that I need to do or I'm trying to really advance myself in probably occupy inside of my house as it is now. Now, of course, with technology being how it is, you would almost have the ability to socialize with your friends. Now, of course, this does not mean that they still can't come and hang out with you at your house. You still can't enjoy what the world has to offer, but you're just not going to be going out into the real world, which would definitely hamper your ability to make new friendships and also strengthen those friendships. But by itself, I feel like you could probably find a workaround for it. And most of the entertainment factors that we normally do are consistent within our house, so there really wouldn't be a whole lot of changes there, at least for me personally. So I feel like this would be a pretty good option for me, and I don't think going naked all the time would coincide very well with the law, and I imagine a lot of tickets and problems would come along with that. Coming in at our third question, I have, would you rather swear in every sentence forever or constantly have your hand down your trousers? Now, for me personally, of course, I'm going to go with swear in every sentence forever, considering that this is probably something that I already do quite a bit. Now, of course, it may not be every single sentence, but I feel like my vocabulary has been adapted to these cuss words, and they've been occupied a lot more than maybe they should, but they're still being occupied on a consistent basis, so I imagine this wouldn't be too terribly difficult to transfer into an every single sentence scenario. Coming in at our fourth question, I have, both are made very public. Would you rather sue a charity organization and win, or sue a corrupt organization and lose? Now, I feel like the honest answer would be to sue a charity organization and win, considering that if I'm having to pursue them and sue them in this specific case, they're probably not using the money that I sent them for a correct purpose. They're probably just not using it the way that I would imagine them to be using the money or in a proper or humane manner. And if that's the case, then the charity is corrupt by itself and the organization needs to be sued. Now, of course, you have the opposite where there is already a corrupt organization that everybody knows is corrupt, and then you're suing them and then unfortunately you lose. Well, you just wasted a ton of money and you're just being added to their list of people that failed to sue them. And in that case, it was kind of a waste of time and you lost a lot of money because, suing a corporation is not something that happens overnight. It's not black and white paper. It's a lot of money being spent and it's a lot of effort being diverted into this obstacle. Now, of course, that's just how I look at it. I'm interested to see how you guys will answer the question, of course, but I feel like the honest answer for me would be to sue a charity organization and win, just to kind of get back some of the money that I guess wasted in this circumstance and hopefully, pursue it in a different manner. And finally, coming in at question 5, I have, would you rather have the ability to rewind 24 hours 3 times each year or be able to consistently control your dreams and remember them in great detail? Now, this is definitely a very creative question. It definitely has pros and cons to each side of it, but when it comes down to it, I feel like I'm going to go with constantly control my dreams and remember them in great detail because I always have some pretty interesting dreams. They are overall not the most sane dreams, but it would definitely be interesting to piece them together and see what kind of a story they're trying to tell. And I feel like when you look at the 24-hour 3 times a year option, it looks very promising, but the problem is I feel like if you made a colossal mistake, the problem is that it probably didn't occur in 24 hours. It probably took over 2 to 3 days to happen, maybe even longer. And I feel like that's the major problem with that specific scenario, is that 24 hours really isn't a whole lot of time on black and white paper. I mean, I've went through the last 3 days and I couldn't even tell you what I ate or drank over those last couple of days, and I feel like that just kind of gives you the idea that for me personally, it's just not going to be very beneficial in those cases. Now, of course, that's not to say that that 24 hours couldn't be beneficial. I mean, it could definitely be something. If you forgot to write your research paper, you could definitely get right into it. If you're in, high school or college, it would probably be pretty beneficial by itself, considering that your minds are a little bit more occupied onto different things that in the long term don't really matter, but at that time can mean a lot. And that's just a way of looking at it. But overall, I feel like my final answer would be just being able to see my dreams a little bit more vividly and being able to kind of control them and make them a little bit more personal would be pretty interesting while piecing them together to get a storyline that I would really enjoy. But anyway, guys, that has been this episode of Would You Rather. If you guys disagreed with any of my answers, of course, write down in the comments below of how you would answer them in those specific cases. And when it comes down to it, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I will see you next time, and this is NMO, and I'm going to be signing out, guys. Peace.